So let us just remind ourselves of what we've gone and done. We had our data, we put it into tables, insert table. We then said we wanted to summarize it, and we said insert pivot table. And we put it into a data model. We then said we wanted to calculate success rate, and in order to do that, we right-clicked and we said add measure. If I wanted to go and have a look at that, I would go have a look at the power pivot. There's my measures, and I'm going to have a look. So we said it was the sum of the FTEs passed divided by the sum of the FTEs enrolled. Why? Because over there it tells us what the success rate is. FTEs passed, FTEs enrolled. And again, the full-time equivalents take into account the credit value of the module as a fraction. So once it was calculated, we then started to click and drag things around. So let's go back to where we were. I'm going to say I'm going to be interested in the cohort and the success rate. So there we can have a look at the differences at the 2018 and the 2019 cohorts. And I'm going to put in year. Right. So there's the 2018 cohort. 2018 was an 86% success rate and then an 84% success rate. 2019, you guys are starting off quite lower with a 78% success rate. So that's now comparing the cohorts for each year. I'm now interested in some of the other things we have. Let's have a look at the gender. So the 2018 cohort, you can see females and males are performing pretty much the same, whereas the 2019 cohort, females are doing a bit better than the males there. Let's have a look at race. You can see quite a significant difference. For the 2018 cohort between African student performance and Indian. Whereas in the 2019 cohort, we can see that the Africans, and we can see with the Indian that has actually dropped quite significantly. We can also go and have a look at age. And now it's showing a whole lot of ages over here. And we can go right click and we can actually start to group these. Okay, no, we can't. It's not allowing me to group them. But let's have a look and see what's going on. So there, the 17-year-olds don't tend to do so well. 18, 19, 20s tend to do well. And then it starts to tailor off. Possibly because these students are actually working. And they've got more commitments because they're older. Another thing we could look at is the year that they matriculated. So this would be the 2018 cohort, the 2019 cohort, and combined. Right. So we can actually see that the students, we've had a bit of a gap here. Let's see. Right. No, actually over here, for the 2018 cohort, those students that matriculated the year before are sitting at a success rate of 85%. The highest, except for those older students over there. And again, if we have a look at the 2019 cohort, we sit in with 80% students who matriculated the year before, doing significantly better than the students who've actually had a gap year. What is always good to include within these is to have a look at the actual number of. So again, we looked at, it's very important over here that when we use the student number, we've got the distinct count. Because remember, our table has got multiple subjects, multiple modules per student. So it has to be the distinct count of the student numbers. And let's just actually make these a bit smaller to see what it is that's going on. Let's just wrap that text. Right. So hopefully now we can see. So we can see we actually only have for 2007, one student, 2008, one student. Okay, and as we start to increase, we can see we then get progressively more students. So 54 students out of 74 students of the 2018 cohort. Let me just freeze some panes over here. Okay. So 54 students out of the 2018 cohort matriculated in 2017, the year before. Whereas for 2019, it's 44 out of the 69 students matriculated the year before. So let's just quickly remove success rate. This is what I was showing you. So this is showing a bit of a trend to see if there's been any changes in the year and the profile of the students. It's a bit hard to see these numbers, so I'm going to say show values as a percentage of the row total. So now it's telling us that of the 2018 cohort, 73 matriculated the year before, in 2017, 73%. However, from the 2019 cohort, only 64% matriculated the year before. And you can see then the profile, how it changes. So there's been quite a significant difference between the 2018 and the 2019 cohort in terms of when they matriculated. And I wonder if that might have something to do with the difference in success rates. The difference in the success rates between the 2018 and the 2019 cohort. Lots to look at. You could even have a look at the home language. And again, what is very good with this is always just to keep in mind the number of students that you're dealing with. And these should be numbers. So you can start to have a look and see, does mother tongue impact performance? Does it have an impact on success rates within your program? If so, is anything being done about it? What about your tutorials? Are your tutorials being done in different languages? And this would have been the information on the registration when you registered. This was captured. There's a bit too many over here. So let me actually just take my home language And I'm going to say, right, I'm interested in English, isiZulu, and isiXhosa. And I'm going to also make sure over there. So there's English, isiXhosa, and isiZulu. Let's just make those numbers. So there it's telling me the numbers. 17 students in 2018 have English as their home language, and they sit in with a success rate of 90%. So your English students are doing better, followed by your 39 Zulu students, isiZulu students, which is a success rate of 83%, and then the isiXhosa students sitting with 79%. How does this change for the 2019 cohort? You can see suddenly English has dropped quite a bit, isiZulu has dropped, and isiXhosa has improved in terms of the success rates. But you can see over here, out of the 2019 cohort, only 2 students have isiXhosa as their home language. So what can you say and infer about language of instruction within your program? Does that have an impact on success rates? So I hope that's given you an idea of some of the data, how you can work with it, some of the analysis that you can do on it, looking at your cohort data, looking at success rates, looking at gender performance gaps, looking at racial performance inequalities, looking at language, and the implication that this has on teaching and learning. On teaching it. Yes, the implications that has for teaching and learning within your program. Another useful thing here is pivot charts. So these pivot charts can be drawn automatically. So we could have a look over here. There's gender, there's 2018. No, sometimes when you do these, you just need to swap them around. Right. So this is showing the different cohorts. Inside one is, and there it's showing you the 85 for 2018. So the inside is 2018. And we can add data labels. And that one there is showing the 2019. Not showing that good on that kind of pivot chart. However, if we go to the pivot chart, something to always do is just switch the rows and columns, right? But we can change the chart type. So let's go and put it over here. I want a columns, and I'm going to go OK. So now it's showing for 2018 and 2019 the difference in success rates. For females in 2018 and 2019, you can see it's dropped. Males 2018 and 2019. So here we're actually comparing how it's changed between 2018 and 2019 for males and females. If we swapped it around, it's now showing then the gender differences. We've seen females performing better than males, 2019 females performing better than males. And these can become as complicated as you want. You can then swap. Now we're looking at race, performances in 2018 and 2019 between the different races. And if we had to switch the rows and columns, it's then showing between 2018 and 2019 the change. And you can see there quite a big drop. There's a drop.